everyone, welcome to The Secret Place. This is Stephanie. So glad you're here. Today I have a short passage from Peter Kreeft's Wisdom of the Heart, the good, the true, and the beautiful at the center of us all. Good book if you haven't gotten it yet. So he's got so much in this book that is worthy, that is worth the get, and just worth reading it over and over again. But I'm intrigued and drawn to a short word here on love, but Eros love, romantic love. And let's see what we can gain from this together. I'll read it to you. He says, he's asking the question, what is love and what is Eros love? He says, love wants even more than to be with the beloved. Love wants to be somehow in the beloved. This is most obvious and passionately so in sexual love. But even there, the aim of love escapes us. Poets and mystics know it better than philosophers and psychologists. I love you means at its height, I want to be you without ceasing to be myself. Because if I cease to be myself, I could not be you. I want to share in your very being. And then he says, why do saints gravitate towards one another? Look at Augustine and Ambrose and Monica, Cosmas and Damien, Francis of Assisi and Clare, Aquinas and Bonaventure, John of the Cross and Teresa of Avila, Ignatius and Xavier. He goes on, why does holiness rub off? Why does it expand like energy? Why does love's mass seek other masses of love? Because of spiritual gravity. And this spiritual gravity is vertical as well as horizontal. It unites us with God as well as with each other. So he started out talking about Eros, that word for love, that ancient word for love that is about sexual love or romantic love. Different authors talk about it in different ways. C.S. Lewis talks about it as romantic love, and there's an aspect of Eros which is called Venus, which is the sexual love. Augustine talks about it in one way, and so does Aquinas. We all kind of have heard about Eros and either know about it experientially or definitely have seen movies about it, read books about it, or experienced it ourselves. But where Peter Kreeft goes in this book is an interesting place. He's really talking about the oneness and the desire for oneness, wanting to be with another, wanting to share in the other, with the other, but not lose ourselves in the other. It's such a mystery, this thing called love, isn't it? It's really inexplicable. Some things in life are just so inexplicable, aren't they? Well, this love, this wonderful gift that God has given us is part of the mystery of life. And it surely is a gift. But where I wanted to camp with this little passage was this idea of spiritual gravity, and that we are called, or we are pulled, if you will, by love. It's almost like a gravitational force that helps us stand. It just pulls us. I'm sure you've heard it before, maybe even felt it yourself, like, I don't know why I did that. I couldn't help myself. I can't help myself. I keep showing up at her house, or I keep dreaming about him. I can't help myself. It's this pull, and it's not so much sexual as it is, I want to keep thinking of him. I want to keep thinking of her. That's what C.S. Lewis says for sure. But Kreeft is calling it spiritual gravity. And I think that is it's not the ultimate meaning of the church, but it's part of why the Lord put that love and that as a gravitational force in us beyond Eros, or before Eros, however you want to say it, that we humans are pulled towards each other. We want to be with each other. We want to experience something that is beyond the mundane, beyond the kind of everyday work-a-day world of existence. We want, I think that's what we love about philia, or some people call it phileo, the love that is friendship, is we want that kind of joy of knowing that life is more than getting by. Life is more than work. And that's what he gives us. God gives us in himself with his agape love. And that's what I believe. I truly believe this. I know it's ideal. And I hope you don't think it's just a romantic notion, but I believe that that's why he's given us each other. That's why he's given us the church or the ecclesia, the pull towards each other to be together. And I do think that that's one of the biggest problems in the contemporary Western church, is that we're resisting the pull. And even though it's counter to our human desires and the desire that God gave each of us, that pull towards being together, being with each other, we are allowing the external forces of our own development, our own creativity, our own tools, our own technologies to pull us apart and isolate us from each other. I was reading an article the other day and then listening to an interview with this person, and someone from the MIT lab here in the States, talking about the augmented reality and the new glasses that are coming out. I think they're Apple glasses, and the grandchild talking to her grandmother over FaceTime. The grandmother had the VR, the virtual reality goggles on, and said to her granddaughter 2,000 miles away, "Honey, how do you see me? Do you see me with these goggles on, or are the goggles invisible? Can you just see my face?" She said, "I can see you perfectly without goggles, honey, but how do you see me?" And the granddaughter said, she giggled, and she said, "Oh, Grandma, you're a unicorn. You're a pink and purple sparkly unicorn. And, there's hearts coming out of your mouth." The grandmother said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, that's your avatar, Grandma. That's how I see you." So even in the fun and creativity of these tools of technology that are advancing so quickly, we are pushing ourselves further and further away from the beauty of our own humanness, our own human presence, and maybe inadvertently, just for the fun of it, becoming more and more accustomed to being remote and distanced from one another. So it's just a very, very short message today to speak to you. Let's pay attention to the spiritual gravity. Let's pay attention to that drawing toward others, towards each other, towards the ones who are hurting, towards the ones, maybe they're not hurting. Maybe there's people in the PTA with you that, you could just reach out to and ask them how they are, or you're getting to know someone in church or in your neighborhood, and say, "Hey, want to grab some coffee? Or would you like to come over for tea?" I'll tell you something, 20, 30 years ago, that was pretty common. And I know it was totally common 50 and 100 years ago. But today, it's like you have to text people before you can drop in. And I hear some of you going, "Of course, yes, you have to." Or people feel funny about, "Come over for coffee," or "Let's meet for this." It's like it's becoming less and less the norm. I find that sad. How do you find that? Do you think that that's sad, or is that just part of the evolution of culture? What do you think about that? I'd love to hear what you know. It saddens me. Maybe you can provide some optimism there. In any case, I'm glad you came by today. And I'll look forward to your questions, your comments, your insights. And until the next time in The Secret Place, this is Stephanie. Have a good one.